So the stage is set for some terrific, historic 3-week Asian leg of badminton. So Bangkok's HSBC BWF World Tour Badminton Extravaganza continues today with the YONEX Thailand Open, followed next week by the Toyota Thailand Open. Both Super 1000 tournaments. Action culminates with the belated HSBC BWF World Tour finals starting Wednesday the 27th of January. To get us underway on today's order of play, well, first up we've a Thai-Australian women's doubles. Today the Aussies Mapasa and Somerville will be keen to find the pin code to avenge 2 previous losses to the former top 10 local pairing. Our second match is a women's singles featuring giant-killing top-tenner Anse Young, who will no doubt be looking for a straight-game assault on Sonia Chia. Then we've a men's doubles involving reigning Thai Masters champions, the world number 15 pairing from Malaysia, Ong and Teo. Can the young Indians Arjun and Kapila ambush them before they settle in? Match 4 sees the world number 1 and reigning Olympic champion Caroline Marin in the women's singles eyeing a 3rd consecutive victory today over the French world number 37, Chi Shuifei. And the 5th match involves number 28 Danish mixed doubles pair take on 2 unranked Thais in an all-unseeded affair. A highlight in the second 5 matches could be match number 8, that juicy top 15 men's doubles between Danish world number 12 pair Rasmussen and Astrup against the 6 seeds Li Yang and Wang Qilin. What about that one for a popcorn encounter? Should be high caliber, that one. So the stage is set then for the drama to unfold. It's only day 2 with our live continuing coverage unfolding all week here. Players vying to get to the winner's circle on Sunday. To get us underway, a top 30 Thai-Australian women's doubles from the bottom quarter of the draw. The Indonesian 5th seeds, Polly and Rahayu, looming. Beyond that, of course, the draw opens up in the absence of the 2nd seeds, Matsumoto and Nagahara. And today the Aussies will be keen to avenge 2 previous losses. There are athletes ready to take to court, making their way. The Australians, or the Thais I should say, donning red, and in a darker colour out come Sajana Mapasa and Gronya Somerville. The world number 26 pairing in women's doubles. Taking on Putita Supajirakul, who's 6 foot tall there with the darker of the hair, and Sapsiri Taerattanachai, a familiar face, 28 years old, from Udon Thani. Of course, more known for her mixed doubles prowess. Let's see if we can listen into the coin toss. Well, I didn't manage to pick much of that up. I wasn't so good at lip reading on that occasion. But anyway, the players know what's going on. That's all that matters. The umpire's in control. And there's our first glimpse of Putita Supajirakul. As I say, 6 foot tall, 24 years old. The Thais world ranked 20th, have been as high as 9 in the world in April 2017, so breaching that top 10 ranking. And well, they started 2019 on a perfect note, winning the Thai Masters at home back then. runners-up place at the Indian Open followed that, and semi-finals of the Thai Open, Singapore Open back then. But that was a couple of years ago now. But she's tall, she's imposing, she's great at women's doubles. And we'll be taking a look at her partner, Sapsili Taerattanachai. There she is, familiar face. Of course, had the cruciate ligament surgery on her knee. Normally plays with a brace, but refreshing to see that today, many years later, I think it's the first time I've seen her not wearing a brace, the 28-year-old from Udon Thani in Thailand. A confirmation of that highest rank. Well, they played well in Sudirman Cup together, these two, and their best result last year came in the Indonesian Masters, where they lost in the quarter-finals. But Thai teams, of course, desperate to shine at home. As we take a look at Setyana Mapasa, originates from Manado in Indonesia, resides in Melbourne, left-hander, as you can see, 1.63 m tall. And, well, nicely poised, keen to get on with proceedings here, I'm sure. Gronya Somerville is her partner, the other side of the net, and she is also 25 years old from Melbourne. And she's a very popular figure on tour, posts a lot across various social media platforms, keen to take up knitting with Lauren Smith and following Mia Bridgefeld's lead. So I am delighted to say that I'm joined by Morten Frost. Will be the team, first team up for the first 5 matches, followed by Jill Clark and Steen Pedersen. But Morten, lovely to be working with you again.
Yeah, likewise. Good to be back. So yeah, it's a little bit of an interesting match we have in front of us. On paper, definitely the Thailand pair is favourite to win, and you know, we have seen quite a lot of matches yesterday where the favourites have been a little bit hesitant, not really been into it. So we also saw a few upsets and surprises. So I think that it's very difficult to call matches on beforehand and say, oh, it's definitely going to go this way, because after the 10 months of layoff, things has changed a bit.
Absolutely. And well, they've met twice before, and I can tell you that the Thai team have won both occasions. That said, one of the 2 encounters went the distance, but the Australians denied twice. Will it be third time lucky for the Thais today, or will they be denied by the tenacious Australians? All set then. Let's enjoy this one unfolding.
Ladies and gentlemen, on my right, Setyana Mapasa and Gronya Somerville, Australia. And on my left, Putita Supajirakul and Sapsili Taerattanachai, Thailand. Setyana Mapasa to serve to Sapsili Taerattanachai. Love all. Play. Fault.
Well, not the cleanest to put away, but she'll take it anyway, and we'll
3,
loosen up with a little bit of
mixed
smiling.
Double. Joshua Herbert Yu and Josephine Wu from Canada.
Fault. Service over.
Versus Mark Langfuss
All.
and Isabel Hattrich from Germany. Umpire Latif Jauhari from Indonesia.
That's wide.
set. Mervyn Horenby from
2,
Belgium.
1. Out.
Easy to see. It takes a little while for the players to settle in.
All.
Saw that a lot yesterday as well, didn't we, Morten, on day 1?
Yes.
Service over. 3, 2.
Yeah, that's well left. Just out.
Service over. 3-0.
And the first rally, the match. That's nicely, patiently played by Mapasa from the back. Really just keeping it simple, keeping it low, waiting for her chance and just steady the ship a bit. That's good play, good tactics.
Service over. 4-0.
Tough moments for all athletes this, having spent 3 months away from the game effectively, competitively with the situation and sort of doing a lot of training, but nothing really simulates this.
Yeah, that's good defensive work there by Petita.
5-4.
Really standing her grounds very well. Look at how forward her stance is, and then of course really able to guide it down the line and into the open space. The placement of that smash was simply not good enough or well anticipated.
Well, the last meeting between these two teams was on the 7th of January in the Perodua Malaysian Masters, and the ties came through 21-13, 21-16. And today already they just started to get a grip on this opening game, you sense, with the 3-point cushion.
Yeah, that's very, very nicely disguised. Good block shot there from Mapasa. Technically, she's a very good player. Got nice technique.
Seems to have a rich variety as well, and confident to let it out the bag. Very nice.
Service over. 8-5.
Yeah, that's spelling trouble.
9.
Well spotted by Petita. And she saw the gap at the back. Look at this one. Right into the deep backhand corner of Mapasa.
Down the corridor, doubt.
Service over. 6-9.
Always a little hesitancy. Players don't want to break rackets, but they'd rather win the point, I can assure you that. But A little bit hesitant there from Taerattanachai.
Service over. 10-6.
Nicely placed, good return of serve. Against we see the very nice skills how she's holding it and flicking it all the way across court into the deep corner.
Service over. 11-7.
Well, aided by a run of 4 consecutive points earlier on in the game, the Thais take to the front, and it's 11-7 to the turn we go after 7 minutes of action here on 1.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Seven, play.
She's got plenty of raw power as Petita Supajirakul.
Once again, that return into the deep corner from Mapasa. Yeah, that's well left. That's well left.
Oh, it just missed, did it? Just over the back line. Beg your pardon.
7.
The Australian pair really find it difficult to put enough pressure on the defence of the Thailand pair. They really have to work hard in their attack. That's well left on the back line by Mapasa.
8-13.
Morton, you touched on the fact that it felt perhaps not cold, but just, you know, cooler than these guys are used to playing, and the aircon was pumped up pretty high yesterday, seemingly. Ideal for the players, to be honest, but tough to kill the shuttle, right?
Yeah, it's giving slower conditions when the stadium is cold. And of course, in that sense, it's kind of taking the sting out of the attack a little bit. And we see that a lot of players are finding it hard to really put the shuttle on the floor. And here Taerattanachai did it to perfection.
14-8.
Again, it looks a little bit like Grania Somerville is the weaker part of the two players from Australia when it definitely comes to the defence. Mapasa seems to be much more comfortable in the defence and driving the shots a lot better and more proactive somehow. Yeah, that's misunderstanding, and that's trouble. They wanted to make this left-right combination, and the rotational skills was not completely intact. Look at that, how Mapasa's just moving back because she's having a forehand and trying to cover for the backhand of Somerville.
Well, these kind of things are ever so slightly exploited when you're playing such experienced foes. These guys, former top teners, remember?
Yeah.
Back in April 2017, they reached 9 in the
Number
world,
9,
so
yes.
they know what they're doing. But of course, they haven't been playing that much together because of Taerattanachai's great success in mixed doubles with Supajirakul.
Yeah, I actually think that it's a very conscious decision by the coaches and the setup in Thailand that they really are banking on the mixed doubles with Warmup and Taerattanachai, and then put this women's doubles a little bit on the back burner. And it is interesting as well that the pair from Australia seems to qualify for the Olympics. They are at the moment number 24 on that world ranking, and it's based on 20 tournaments. And at the moment they're qualified on the continental place, which means that all continents have to be represented, and they are the highest ranked from Oceania. And that's why they are, even though they're number 24, they have at the moment qualified as number 15. And the other pair from Thailand has not qualified because there's a pair higher than them on the world ranking, and they seem to be going to Tokyo.
Yeah, there'll be Supajirakul and Prajongjai, of course, up above in the top of the draw. They'll be delighted in the absence of Fukushima and Hirota up there. Draw's really opened up for them. They had a win in their first round against another Thai pairing, and now they'll be taking on Lefel and Tran from France in their second round clash. What's this then, a lace issue?
No, I
can't see.
I can't
I'm
really see what it
obscured
is.
by the doctor.
Yeah.
Something on the shin, maybe? But the Aussies are ready to...
Maybe it's a little bit of a blood injury.
yes.
Thank you.
Well, of course,
Can
it's all
we
gloves
just
and...
speed up a little bit.
yeah, come on, get on with it, guys. Come on, Doc.
In the middle, there's some drops.
Tall and imposing, statuesque on the badminton court. And
Yeah, and what a role these two players played when Thailand in 2018 got to the final of the Yuba Cup when it was played here in Bangkok as well.
yeah,
And
it was here, wasn't it, at this venue?
It was, and
2018.
they were part of the team that beat China. Can you
Yes, I
imagine?
do.
That was a massive upset.
Yes. Was that the time they dived under the net? Loads of them came.
They were all over the place.
Yeah. I remember that celebration. Smiling ties. Can't forget it. Yeah, several of them were watching from the back of the court, and on the match point that they won, they came running on, sprinting on, and dived, slid under the net. A few of them. It was a great moment.
It was, and
that's why we love sport, the joys.
The following day, when they played Japan in the final, they actually swapped partnerships between the four women's doubles players in order to try to upset the situation a little bit. However, as we all know by now, it did not work, and Japan were by far the best team in the competition. It's interesting as well. That's Apsari Taerattanachai. She started out as a singles player, and she won the Youth Olympics women's singles gold back in Singapore in 2010.
super
Service
alert
over.
there from
9,
Mapasa.
15.
Indonesian with lovely soft hand skills.
Service over. 16-9.
Well, the Australians they've had 3 tournament titles in 2019, one of them the Canada Open and 2 international challenge titles as well.
Hold.
They're also champions of the Victor Oceania Championships that you touched on,
17,
Morton, in 2020. So they're no strangers to winning sort of smaller events on tour, but just really keen to make their mark on the grander tournaments. Good opportunity here to really get a toehold into this event. But it's a tough ask against familiar foes the other end, who just seem to be that little bit better.
Good skills from Mapasa again, getting out of trouble, trying to get out of trouble, but it never really worked. The Thailand combination completely in control in that rally.
Must be so frustrating, Morton, when you know, from Australasia, perhaps you're down in Melbourne there, and you practice as hard as you can, you work out as hard as you can in the gym, you do all those extras that they do, but you're just not getting this exposure often enough to stay razor sharp to really turn this one your way.
They need to almost stay on tour
19,
for the whole year, you know, traveling from tournament to tournament to tournament, and of course setting up perhaps a base in Europe, perhaps a base in Asia, and not having to travel the whole time, and see whether they can improve on their training environment. And, so far, of course, that's cost a lot of money, and it doesn't seem like the Australian players are having the sponsorship being able to do so.
Just stopping the rot then, the Aussies there with the run of 4 points for the Thai duo.
Good placement, much better rally from the Australian pair.
11,
Somerville
19.
had good control at the net. First she was trying to play a winner, second was a block, and she did it twice, but still she had good chances. That they had the control in that rally, and that's what they have to work towards.
Out. Service over. 20, game point 11.
9 game point opportunities then for Team Thailand here.
Game.
Well, it's 9:30 in the morning. 20 minutes was all they need. Supajirakul and Taerattanachai
11.
steal the opening game. 21 points to 11. Some very solid passages of play. So back for game 2 then. Players
Court
all
one,
ready.
20 seconds. Court 1, 20
Service
seconds.
judge just,
Follow the rules.
yeah,
20 seconds, not before.
keen to make amends. I guess that's the motto for these two in blue. Trying their hearts out here.
Second game.
But being stonewalled by the
Level.
might of the Thais at the moment.
One love. Two love. Hold.
Well
Yeah.
done. A little bit more bite on that attack.
Service over.
Yeah, good
One,
pressure on Petita.
six.
Yeah, good block shot. And that is definitely exploiting one of the weaker sides of Taerattanachai, because what is happening is that she's so skillful with her hand. She can virtually play any shot at a split second. But when it comes to moving forward since her injury back in 2017, she has been struggling to get forwards on court. And what we saw here, that block shot landing right in front of her, but she was not able to move even though. And we see that in the mixed doubles as well, that sometimes she's simply backing too much and can't move forwards when the, especially of course when the male player is attacking. Here we had another example. She
Service
might not
over.
have got to that one either.
3-0.
But luckily for her, this one was not going over. But it was well played by Mapasa.
Yeah, the Australians on to something. Can they cut and paste and repeat?
Service over. 4.
Definitely unsettled the Thais momentarily. This is really looking up for Mapasa and Somerville.
Yeah, Mapasa is born in Indonesia and represented Indonesia on junior level, and became an Australian citizen back in 2014. So she's got sort of the history of
Service over.
Indonesian badminton, and you can see the hand skills are really good, and it's a typical Indonesian kind of technique, and she's playing with this ease and lovely shots, and that is really very characteristic for Indonesian players.
It's all those subtleties that allow you to open the court and find those fine angles, short shots that she does, I guess, really nicely.
Look at that one. That is a beauty.
Stunning, wasn't it?
And
Real
it was
silky touch.
really nicely played.
5.
And the others were just stone-footed, weren't they?
Completely. They never saw that one coming. And that, just as we mentioned the technique, and look at this beautiful shot there. Look at that one.
Cheeky monkey.
Well played.
Plumb on the line.
Out. Service over. 5-0.
Oh, that's wasteful. She knows it. She's trying to eat her shirt after that one. A wry smile of frustration.
Yeah, this time trying to create the angle, but just gave it a little bit too much.
Grania was doing well here, persistent, trying to punish her way through the rally, and just Tatyana just missing that one narrowly, not by much. Good work from the Aussies.
Oh, the idea was good. Unfortunately, that was going out.
7-5.
If you're looking at it from the Australian point of view. But what I would like to see a bit more from the two Thailand players is that when they are in kind of a defensive situation, that they move their opponent a little bit better on the back line, just to make sure that they get out of position as and when they're attacking. That would definitely help their case quite a lot. And then to the one side, yeah, and the backhand side, exactly. And then they're suddenly opening up the whole game when they can move their opponent in such a way on the back line.
And I guess, as you know, when you're offensive like the Aussies were, there is nothing worse than being offensive, but then that all being negated and you're being moved around yourself from the Thai defence.
Out of balance and not able to hit as precise and as hard as you want to do, and then suddenly you're making a mistake and you're getting sort of punished in the counter-attack.
Nothing worse when you're trying to drive the point and suddenly it's just all being sponged up the other side of the net and spat back at you with interest.
We have the doctor on again. It's again this blood injury. Yeah, she's removed the plaster.
Well, do you know what? I think they've turned the aircon down today. It seems a little warmer in here, and she is sweating profusely. And of course, to try and get a sticky plaster to adhere.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, that'll be stinging tonight.
Grazing.
In the bed, a little reminder.
But they have to. They have to put the tape all around the leg, the calf.
Yeah.
It will never hold if it's just at the front.
Yeah, a whole ring of it then. Come on then, Doctor, how fast can you do it this time? Come on, we're going to time you. That's obviously being applied to clean or stop the bleeding.
It'll have to be stopped. Of course, it's also cleaning, but the injury, the blood injury, have to be stopped. You are not allowed to play. I would say any sports. I think around the world that if you have a blood injury, it must be treated.
Well, just gives these guys an opportunity to step off stage momentarily, collect their thoughts tactically. What are we going to do? Right, let's try this.
When you mentioned that Sapsari is not wearing any support for her knee anymore.
I've never seen that on the match court.
I was actually there in 2017 in Kuala Lumpur when at the Southeast Asian Games, the SEA Games, when the injury happened, and it looked really not nice, I'm telling you. But the way that the staff, the coaches sort of guided her back into badminton, slowly bringing her back into mixed doubles first, then later on into women's doubles and so on. It was really gradually very nicely done, and I think that was a very fine case of bringing a player back from injury, not forcing anything, taking its time, and she has not had any injuries ever since.
But do you know what? And a big leap of faith as well in taking the brace off and playing without that, and particularly in a live match. That must be quite something.
Yeah, I really felt that was a good plan made by the coaches at the time.
Yeah. Super play from Mapasa there, very, very alert in the front court, really mixing it up nicely, using those golden hand skills to create havoc here. Wonderful.
Yeah, look here how cautious Petite is not putting the left knee to the floor. Yes. She was very conscious about it, I'm telling you.
No, I saw that. I'm with you, I saw it as well.
9-6.
Redeeming herself there. Well, second-guessed herself, didn't she? Doubted it all the way, and then at the last minute decided to play it. Thought it was going over the back line, then thought, uh-oh. And then sort of something and nothing came of that.
Service over. 7-10.
I like how Petite was very proactive in her defence there. She was taking that step one forward and really reach it as early as possible. Fortunately for her, it did not work out, but I think the idea is really good. Here again we see how the Australian pair was doing exactly the same. And now moving on the back line, and look at suddenly it's all changing. Ah, that's beautiful. Very nicely played by Taerattanachai. That attacking clear really put a lot of pressure on Mapasa, and try to have a look at it. It's really very nicely played. Here it's coming. That's the one.
Yeah, that's gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah. But she almost got out of trouble.
Yeah. Still, so to the turn. Exactly the same scoreline as the opening game. The tie is 11-7 to the good.
Court 1, 20 seconds. Court 1, 20 seconds. Eleven, 7, play.
Oh, just out. That's bad luck. She's got really nice, deceptive return of serves going into the deep corners cross court from both sides. Unlucky for Mapasa, that one was going out.
Blistering from Petite. From Taerattanachai, I beg your pardon, Sapsiri.
Good defense. Yeah, at one stage in this rally, Gronya Somerville had a very, very good chance of killing it at the net. But the shot she played was simply just too loose, and it gave Taerattanachai a chance to get back into it. And I could see she was almost shaking her head during the rally. That she should have done better with that one.
Service over. 8-14.
A lucky break off the net, favouring the Aussies. And they do twin well together, don't they, Somerville and Mapasa?
Yeah, they won 4 titles in Oceania together. 17, 18, 19 and 20.
Oh, that was nice, wasn't that? Deceptive.
Service over.
Same as Mapasa's, the same one,
15-8.
but also very, very nicely disguised. And here was a perfect example of what I talked about earlier, how
16-8.
they're able to chase the Australians on the back line, and then of course that's creating the opening at the back. And here we see that Somerville can't get to the last one.
Yeah.
It succeeds. That's the one.
Sort of creative
and,
defence, like
exactly.
windscreen wipers in defence on the opponents. It's amazing, isn't it,
17-8.
how they are so good in defence. You think they'd have little time to be that creative, but yet they do. And I guess it's because they're perhaps used to playing regularly at a slightly higher tempo, said with respect.
Yeah, they play tournaments at a higher level. They play a lot of Super 1000 tournaments and 750 tournaments and so on, where the 2 Australians are not as active on the international circuit.
On court 3, women's single.
Time's
Evgenia
over.
Koseskaya from Russia
17.
versus Nachananporn Rumpibun Sopit from Thailand. Umpire Hermin Aminmer from Iran. Service Latif Jauhari from Indonesia.
Halt. Service over. 18-9.
Closing in on the W now, you sense the Thai tandem is 2 points away after 40 minutes of action so far.
Yeah, the Australian pair really not having the firepower to penetrate the defence of the 2 Thailand players, and it's a very foregone conclusion here, and a solid win to the 2 Thailand players.
Well, on that kind of form, they look like they'll go a long way in this competition. Taerattanachai and Supajirakul come through. Ease through, frankly. 21-11, 21-9 after just 41 minutes of dominating women's doubles. A really strong showing from those 2, successfully through to round 2.
With the mask on.
Welcome back to the Impact Arena here, then hosting our continuing badminton coverage over the next 3 weeks. Good to see the sun beating down outside, lovely and warm, and what gorgeous playing conditions it is in here under the bright light